The complexity of productivity. 2 a.m. and for obvious reasons I was too lazy. But let's search what the thing is productivity. Productivity is the efficiency of production of goods or services expressed by some measure. So it's really each person's point of view of how you can represent productivity and what it means to you. And I want to give you some examples of how productivity works in my case. And for this, I think you need some kind of background before. I need my notes. So let's call myself a creative person. For obvious reasons, I do videos, so I'm kind of creative. Yeah. But no, in reality, I study architecture for the past 8 years. It is a creative process. You cannot really push something out of yourself. It's not the baby. In the beginning, I started my bachelor degree in architecture and it was going okay. I was spending like the day in university, waking up at 8 a.m., going to the uni. Okay, let's make a chart. It will be easier and will help you to understand what I'm talking about. And since I'm a creative person, I'm gonna draw it. Okay. So when I started, this is awful. So when I started studying, just imagine that this timeline is the whole day of 24 hours. It was 0, this is 24. So I was waking up around 8 a.m. So around here, it's 8. Then I was spending that time until 4 or 5 in the uni. Let's make it somewhere here. 5 is 17. And then I was hanging out with my friends till like, I don't know, 9, 10. So like 22. And then I would spend another time of like working, studying, or whatever the reason, whatever I wanted to do. So how much I was sleeping, usually between like 1, 2 a.m. and 8. So this was my period of sleeping. And I can tell that this was a hard time because I couldn't really fit the study into this process. Also because I'm lazy, so the time at night I was not spending studying but mostly playing games with my friends. And between 5 and 10, this is a counterproductive time of the day, I would say, because you're hanging out with the friends from the uni and usually you're at that period where you're discussing what you're doing, how you're doing it. So it's putting you in this like procrastination phase because you see all the people around are really doing something while you are just stuck at the same place. And I lived like this for maybe 3 years, and then I went on YouTube and found this thing that you can wake up at 5 a.m. and I was like, this would be a life-changing thing for me. And in reality it was. So if I draw my lifestyle when I was waking up at 5 a.m., I was going to bed at 9. So this time I was spending on sleep. And as you know, if you wake up at 5 a.m., you have a lot of time to do something before you have to go to work or to studies. And this is the time where most of the people don't do anything, so you don't have any distractions. So usually between 5 and 9, I was super productive. So let's do a star. And the truth behind it, this time is amazing. But during this like 5 to 9, I was doing the same job I could have done between like 8 and 5 or 5 and 10. So it was taking me much less time to do the same objective. But the problem that I met, that I was finishing my uni at the same time, about 5, and between 5 and 9 you only have 4 hours, and you have to fit a lot of things that you usually do. So like if you're a working student, so I was partially working, sometimes going to the gym, so it was taking like half of this time was taking for my personal activities or my work. And usually after 8, you are not able to do anything because for you it was already the whole day. You're tired as much as possible and it's really hard to fit in. So the problem that I'm at, that my personal life, my friends, my girlfriend, everything started to crack because you can't really see other people, because you spend the time in the morning when everybody is asleep being super productive, and this is cool. But then in the evening you cannot do any activities because either you're tired or you have like some stuff to do, because most of the people, they finish work between like 7 and 9 and they go out at this period of time in the evening and you cannot do it. And this is super annoying because you want to have some activities too. So the only time of the week that you are left to hang out with people is usually Saturday and Sunday. But if you really want to be productive at this regime, you have to continue waking up at 5 even on weekends, because otherwise it's really hard. So I went like this for a couple of months until I understood that everything is going to hell and just like I don't want to continue this anymore. So if I had to mark how I feel about this is like crazy productive. So let's give it a plus for productivity minus a happy life. I'm calling it a happy life, not because if you're living like this you're not happy in life, but just because you're missing on so many things with other people. This I would call not productive at all, but I know it works for a lot of people and they do this. The social life was great. And now we're coming to the point of how I live now. We're drawing the same timeline and I go to bed at 11 and I wake up at 7. 7 will be here, plus minus. And obviously now I'm not doing much, I'm not working, I'm not studying, but I'm still trying to keep to this regime. And the good thing about it is that it's kind of in the middle of everything. As you can see, it's in the middle between the two other diagrams that I draw. And it gives a crazy flexibility of how you can approach your life. So sometimes if I'm out with on a meeting or with my friends, I can go to bed later for like at 1 or 2 a.m. and then I will still be able to wake up at 7 a.m. because I'll still get my like 5-6 hours of sleep, and that would be enough. Well, if you can see, if you're doing the same at the 5 hour, you're only getting 3-4 hours, and this is just not enough. You cannot really sustain this life. For me, I found that this is like the perfect middle of everything. While I really miss this place where you have crazy productivity in the morning and in the evening you are pretty much free because you finished all of your work during these 4 hours in the morning. But I still want to include the social life, so this was the perfect middle for me. It's important to understand that there are two types of work that you have to do, and there is actually a study about it, that it's better to do some logical work in the morning and the creative works comes better in the evening. I'm a person who has to be creative because this is the field that I'm working in, and I really feel that it's much easier to work at night. For me, it happens like this when I'm going to bed at 10:30, 11, and then I have some crazy ideas coming up to my mind. I just jump out of the bed, like take my computer and start working, and then it's like 1, 2 a.m. I'm really tired. I hate myself because I wake up late the next day. The next day I'm waking up and questioning why I couldn't do the same thing in the morning. And in the morning you don't have so much, not willpower, but just a desire to make something or create. I just don't have any thoughts. I didn't think through how I wanted to do this video. In the end, if you're a creative person, designer, architect, you're drawing, you're connected with art, just fuck it. Do whatever you want, work at night. That's usually how it ends for me.